heard about you.
What have you heard, Shane?
I've heard that you're a low-down Yankee liar.
Western Standoffs, the ultimate gunfight showdowns. As opposed to the traditional face-to-face Western duel, the shootout is more of a free-for-all, with guns a-blazing. Today we will delve into some Westerns that have great shootouts, between the good and the bad guys. So keep your head down and enjoy the thrills and spills. If you enjoy this video, hit the notification button to get my new videos. If you want to check out my many other videos, head over to my channel. The link is in the description. Let's get into it. High Noon, 1952. Gary Cooper's Marshal, Will Kane, spends the majority of High Noon desperately trying to avoid his showdown with the outlaw Frank Miller, who seeks revenge for being incarcerated. In the movie's thrilling finale, Kane finally steps up to the plate and teams up with his reluctant pacifist wife, Amy, to drive Miller and his gang from the town. The shootout is full of twists and turns, from Kane getting shot off his horse to Amy choosing her husband's life over her religious beliefs and joining in the gunfight. Cooper took home an Oscar for his performance, a great black and white classic. Django, 1966. The climatic shootout of this essential spaghetti western, Django, brings the emotional arc of the story full circle. Franco Nero's gunslinger is avenging the death of his former lover, Mercedes Zarro, at the hands of the evil Major Jackson. In the finale, a broken-handed Django removes the trigger guard from his pistol and then pushes the trigger against Zarro's headstone to gun down Jackson and his henchmen. This bloody ending is both grisly and surprisingly poetic. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, 1969. Butch and Sundance aren't the badass sheriffs taking down outlaws. They are the outlaws. They don't stand strong in the face of adversity. They flee instantly. In the film's finale, the duo is surrounded by the Bolivian army, left with no escape. What makes this shootout so memorable is the ambiguity. Butch and Sundance have no hope of survival, but the movie freeze frames before their inevitable death, to highlight the naive optimism they maintain in spite of facing certain doom. Rio Bravo, 1959. For most of the film, Rio Bravo is a laid-back movie as John Wayne's sheriff, John T. Chance, sits around with his new deputies and waits for a gun-toting gang to arrive. When the gang gets to town, director Howard Hawks indulges in a high-octane shootout sequence. Chance and his two sidekicks are outnumbered by the bad guy and his men. However, they get the upper hand by blowing up some dynamite. A lot more dialogue driven than the average Western movie. This climatic scene has more than enough action to make up for it. Unforgiven, 1992. A bleak deconstruction of the genre's tropes, and a bittersweet swan song for the genre itself. The late-night shootout in which William Money guns down Little Bill and his deputies in a saloon masterfully subverts the expectations of a Western movie's final shootout. A glorious moment of heroism, a grim bloody moment. The townspeople don't celebrate this brutal act of vigilante justice. They're terrified. Big Whiskey doesn't become a more lawful town because its citizens are inspired to become better people. Instead, it's because Will has threatened to return if they don't. Shane, 1953. When Alan Ladd's ex-gunfighter learns that villains are planning to double-cross his employer during a late-night negotiation at a saloon, he heads into town himself to stop them. Like Unforgiven, Shane takes a subversive approach to its climactic action. Although the locals would have celebrated Shane for killing the baddies who were tormenting them, he feels as though he can't settle down into a peaceful life, so he moves on, riding off into the night. Shane had a just reason to kill Jack Wilson and the Riker brothers, but that doesn't change the fact that there's no living with a killing. The Wild Bunch, 1969. When Sam Peckinpah shoots an action scene, he goes all in. In his gritty revisionist western epic, The Wild Bunch, the band of outlaws is eventually met by the full force of the Mexican Federal Army, but they don't go down without a fight. Dubbed the Battle of Bloody Porch, it's one of the most crazy shootout sequences in film history, especially when the machine gun appears. Creating this hectic 5-minute sequence took 12 days of shooting. The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, 1966. The king of Western movie shootouts is the showdown between the three title characters in Sergio Leone's The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. Beautifully scored by Ennio Morricone's track, The Trio, which complements Leone's camera work to build suspense. As great as Morricone's music is, the real star of this sequence is the editing. The cuts between the three men get faster and faster, and the framing of their faces and their pistols get tighter and tighter before they finally draw and fire to break the tension. The Magnificent Seven, 1960. A bandit, Calvera, terrorizes a small Mexican village each year. Several of the village elders send 3 men to the United States to hire gunmen to help them. They end up with 7, each joining for his own reason. They must prepare the town to defend against an army of 30 bandits, who will arrive soon wanting food.
For a place like this, why? A man like you.
Gunfight at the OK Corral, 1957. The actual gunfight took place on October 26, 1881, and lasted 30 seconds, resulting in 3 dead men after an exchange of 34 bullets. The fictional gunfight in this movie took 4 days to film and produced an on-screen bloodbath that lasted 5 minutes. When the OK Corral fight commenced, one of the Earp brothers fired a shotgun at the wagon the Clanton gang was in. Ike yells, "Shotgun," and they duck. The pellets from the shotgun blast are clearly seen hitting the canvas on the wagon, forming a large circle with the many different pellet holes. 2 scenes later, when they return to the same canvas, all the pellet holes are gone. Hello to any new viewers on my channel. Thanks for your time today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I appreciate your likes and subscribers. Don't forget to hit the notification button to get my new videos. Share with your friends. Drop me your comments. Bye for now. See you again soon.
Interesting facts about famous people.